His girlfriend was my roommate. Girl, pull over. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, it's your girl Lauren, and I am back with another girl pullover video. So today is not going to be an advice video. It's going to be my first story time. This story is a story that a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I love tell me to tell all the time, because it is in fact a very crazy, cinematic, only would happen to LorinLee, only would happen in a 5-star movie type of situation. So we're not even going to just dilly-dally. We're going to get straight into it. So, as you heard from the title, I was talking to a man my freshman year of college and undergrad. I was at the University of Texas in San Antonio, and you know, I was very bored out there. I didn't really like San Antonio that much. No shade. I did go out a lot, like with my friends and everything. So I went out. There was this tall, fine chocolate man that like showed up on campus one day, and everybody was looking at him and they were like, ooh. And I was kind of like, yeah, he liked that, but I'm just gonna let y'all have him. But I was at a party and he ended up coming up to me and we started talking, and I guess we just continued talking and never stopped talking, I guess. So it became like, obviously not a serious relationship, but it became an ongoing, I guess, situationship, you can call it. Those things, those are so stupid to me. But yeah, we would hang out all the time, and he was at a school that wasn't too far away from mine. So like I would go visit him, he would come visit me, vice versa. And I transferred to the University of Houston my sophomore year. So during that summer when I was in Houston, I did see him again. Like it was just, we were talking for a while, like on and off, but it was pretty consistent around this time. So I transferred to the University of Houston. Obviously, when you're transferring to a new college, it's so scary. It's so terrifying. You don't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. Even though I was coming home, I didn't have the freshman year introduction to the school, so I had to like try to meet people as I went. So I picked an apartment that I liked, and then I think like my mom went in there and she was like, random roommate, she doesn't know anybody. So the girl who was my roommate, not her, not the one we're talking about, but one of my roommates, she's the sweetest, her name is Alani. She worked at the front, and she was like, okay. So I guess she like put my name to room with her, because I think they needed like one more. So she ended up being my roommate. And then there was another roommate that was like her cousin. Her name was Krishan. And us three were like the three musketeers. Like they were like my older sisters in a way. Like they were the most amazing roommates ever. Like we're still cool to this day, right? So there was this one girl, there was one more room that was empty. And I was like, so is this going to be an empty room? Like what's the vibe? They're like, nah, she's on a vacation. She said she's going to come here next week. I said, cool. So a couple of days went by, and you know, when you like a man, you kind of start to just snoop. You know, you kind of just like go on the social media, you kind of like look at their highlights and just admire, like, You just gotta look. I gotta see what I'm working with. You gotta look. So I was looking, and he was on a cruise. And I was like, okay, cool. Like he was posting videos and pictures on the cruise and all that, and I thought that was really cool. And just kept watching the story. And then I saw that like he was with some friends and stuff like that. So I went on their friends page and I was like looking through their highlights. Probably shouldn't have done that. But I looked through their highlights, and I saw him holding hands. The guy I was talking to, I saw him holding hands with a girl. And I said, ouch. Damn. Like, I was like, okay, all right, cool. You got a woman. I wish I would have known you had a woman. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, right? I could not believe it. And there's another video, holding hands. Another video, dang near snuggled up. And I'm like, ow, because first of all, like, nobody likes that feeling when you're talking to somebody that you really like, and then you find out that they have this whole other life with somebody else set in stone. Like, especially when you really like them. Like, I actually liked this dude. This dude has been in my house. This dude has met my mom. And that was around the time, like, of course, I was a sophomore in college. I learned my lesson. Like, I don't really like bringing people around my people like that. But because when I went home, I stayed with my mom, he had to, obviously. But I told him in advance, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. Thumbnail. And so there was finally a story video where I saw her face. And I was like, okay. My heart was kind of shattered. That sucked. And so a week later, I went back to the highlights. I was walking in the hallway, like walking towards my door. And I'm just still like scrolling through the highlights. Like I'm just looking and watching as I walked to the door because I was like actually like hurt. I was actually hurt when I saw that. I opened the door to my apartment and there was a young lady unpacking her stuff in the kitchen. And I said, there's no way in hell the girl that I thought she is his freaking girlfriend is in my kitchen. Oh, there's no way I am seeing shit. Somebody must have put a shroom or something up in my food. Like, there's no way that that woman is in my kitchen. So in my room, and I was like, let me take a deep breath. Let me take a deep breath. Let me take a deep breath. And then all of it hit me. I was like, my friend said, my other roommate said that she was on vacation. I did not want to believe it. You hear me? I did not want to believe it. And so I walked out. And I said, hi, like, my name is Lauren, nice to meet you. And she was like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I don't remember her name, it was so long ago. Like, actually, I'm lying, I remember her name. I'm not gonna say anything. And I said, hi, like, welcome. And she's like, how are you? Like, I heard your name was Lauren, I was like, yeah. And then I said, so where were you at? And she said, oh, I was on a cruise. I said, oh, okay, cool. Like, maybe he was on Carnival, maybe she was on, like, Royal Caribbean. Like, I don't know. So I said, oh, okay, cute. So who'd you go with? Like, you went with some family or?
No. I went with my boyfriend and I went with his friends.
Oh my gosh, girl, who's your boy? Okay, like, where he go to school at? She said his school. And I was sitting here like, okay, because his name, right, was like very unique. And to a way to where it was like, if she said his name, that's definitely like who that was. So I said, oh, okay, girl, I see you. Loud. What's his name? And she said his name. I said, well, butter my mother biscuits, girl. The guy that I like has a girlfriend. Not only does he have a girlfriend, she lives with me. I went in my room, slid down the wall of my door, and I was like, there is no way this is my introduction to this new school. There's no way. I slept on it. I didn't even leave my room. I went to go get food and did my pre-work for class, and I didn't leave my room. I was so devastated. The next day comes, and I hear,
Babe, you need help with your boxes?
I said, there is no way there's no that man is in my living room right now. Peeked the door open, and I looked. That man was in my living room. And you gotta understand, college dorms are not big. That was a nice one, I'm not gonna lie. It was like an actual apartment, I can't lie. Like, we had our own living area, kitchen area, and we each had our own rooms. Like, I didn't share a bed with anybody, none of that. And what's crazy is my whole college experience, I've never had to do that, which is interesting and not typical. He was right there, helping her unload her boxes all. I shut the door and I was like, holy cow. And I hear her talking, oh yeah, my roommates, they're really nice, they're really sweet. And he's like, oh, really cool. So I heard a door shut and I said, I gotta go. I'm thinking that they went into her room, shut the door. And so I was like, I'm staying at my mom's for the weekend. I'm not even doing this. I'm not even gonna do it. And I packed up my stuff, stormed out the door. So the door that I thought shut was not her door. It was the outside door. So now I'm walking in the hallway and they're walking in front of me. What do? Do I just turn around? She already kind of turned around and looked at me and went like this. He turned around and looked at me like this. Ooh. And I sat there like, yeah. So I guess he's like he's not processing that I live with her. He's thinking she lives in the same apartment complex. So that's what he thought got him off the hook. Now we walk into the parking lot and I said, please let her car be somewhere far away. She said, ding, ding, from her key, right next to my whip. I mean, like the spot over right next to my whip. Walking up, she goes, hey girl, oh my gosh, this is who I was talking about. I was like, he goes, oh my gosh, Lauren. The audacity, bro, hi. At that moment, it was like I felt like red. was just crawling up my skin. I really felt like I was about to explode. Like I felt like I was just about to cause hell. I mean it. And he was like, oh my gosh, Lauren, how are you? I said, I'm fine. And then she starts looking like, and he goes, I thought you went to UTSA. And if you know me, and I mean sincerely know me, you know that I am as blunt as they make them. I can't hold it. I can't hold it. Like, I can't hold it. I said, no, I transferred here to the University of Houston. I told you that a couple weeks ago. You don't remember that? She goes, wait, y'all know each other? And I said, when you were talking about that man in that kitchen, I was praying to God that was not who that was. But yes, I do know him. You have a great rest of your night. When I tell you, I went into my car and I sped off so fast. And I took my little tiny home. I was dang near crying, actually. I'm a simp. I was crying because I hate being put in like the most uncomfortable situations. Keep in mind, this was like the week 2 of me being there, and I had to stay a whole year with her. So I was sitting here like, what? Oh my gosh. I was all moved in. I was super excited. I had my room all pretty and cute and everything. Like, I don't want to just move somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It was just such a, Then it got to like the aftermath. So I stayed at my mom's house for a couple of days, and I told her about it, and she was just like absolutely shook to her core. I told her about it because my mom's like my sister. So we know a lot about each other. Like, and I love that I have that relationship with my mom because I could just talk to her. But I found it was a Sunday afternoon. I drove back to the apartment to get ready for class the next day. So I get out the car. I'm walking to my dorm. I turn the hallway that leads to my door, and there he is, standing there, pizza box in his hand, looking at me and kind of like chuckling, kind of like, and I'm sitting there like, he said, so. I was like, bitch, when were you gonna tell me about that? Because nobody likes to feel like they in the middle of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in being a homewrecker. I don't believe in like being with somebody knowing that they're in a relationship. I don't like that because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I had to lean back. I'm sorry. He was like, so, how are you? I said, why the f didn't you tell me about her? And he said, you know, like, we just be on and off. We've been on and off for years. And I was like, uh-huh. You left it out. And he like subtly threatened me. Like, not threatened, but like he subtly warned me. Like, he was like, you're not gonna like say anything stupid or do anything stupid, are you? I wanted to shit on that man's pizza when he said that. I wanted on a real. Why would Nicki Minaj start her song like that? On a real. And I was like, no, like, I'm not gonna do or say anything stupid. But like, do I necessarily have to? I was like, do you really think that she's stupid? Like, do you really think that she is not going to assume that we had something going on based off of I can't hide my facial expressions very well. So I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, do you really think that she just will never know and she'll never be curious about it, especially when she's living next door to me? You can literally go home and not deal with it. I have to deal with it every single day. So I'm just checking, just making sure, like, you ain't got to make it to this big thing, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. He just walked off and did his thing. I walked back to my room. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. That woman, she hated me so much. And I understand. But like, what I didn't like is that she didn't even like talk to me at all. Like, there was one point where I was trying to like talk to her, but I didn't want to be messy. But like, at the same time, I didn't feel comfortable talking to her because she would talk shit about me in her room while like all the other roommates and I were sitting in the living room, and they were being like super overprotective over me because, again, I was like little sis. And they're like, why the hell are they talking trash about you? Like, they were talking trash about me, like saying very mean things about me. Nothing to do with him, like just about me. And I'm like, okay, now, like, what kind of vibe is that? Like, that's nuts. That's nuts. And so, yeah, it was just every time I saw her, like, I would try to like speak and everything, mellow out the vibe a little bit. But of course she wouldn't say or do anything, and I was like, okay, like whatever. The next day I get a call from him, or a text from him. He goes, "What the fuck, Lauren? I thought you said you wasn't gonna do anything or say anything stupid or do anything crazy." I was sitting here like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? Bro, I'm just trying to go to school. And then he was like, why did I get a text from her saying she told me Lauren wants to talk to me when I get back to my dorm? Is there anything you need to tell me? I was like, nah. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't say anything. And then he goes, so why the hell would she lie to me? That's crazy. I said, oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because she want to know. Anybody would want to know. That's insane, especially if I'm living with this woman. Like, it's like she wanted to hear it from him before even allowing me to speak to her. Honestly, but the thing is I don't judge that part of it because I don't even know how I would have handled that. Like, I would have been so mad. But I knowing me, I would have definitely asked. Like, I would have went up to her and been like, what's up? Because I never really, like, fault anybody that don't know. Like, if they really didn't know, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm going to be mad at the man. But some people like to be mad at the person, but I wasn't. I was open to like spilling it all, honestly, and I was going to, but she kept saying mean things about me with her friends. So now I'm like, okay, like this isn't even cool. A week later, all I hear is in her room. Can you imagine hearing the guy you like fucking another woman that happens to be his woman in your own place to live in? It happened several times. And of course she would not speak to me. That was going on for, I think, like the first whole half of that year, the whole half of that semester. It was just shit talking, evil eye, all that. The most uncomfortable situation I've ever been in my life. And he got a slap on the wrist because he was far away from it, went back to the school that he was at, didn't have to deal with it at all. But then they broke up. They broke up maybe, I guess after those. So it was like those first 4 months. After those like first maybe 3 to 4 months, I believe, they broke up. The reason why I know that is because I started seeing a new man come in the apartment. And she would just be with him. My other roommate was like, bro, I hear them just every night, but it ain't the same man anymore. That cracked me up. I was like, girl. Because I guess it was like in her bathroom. I know this is like, kids, if you're listening, just like tune your ears out, but like they would whatever do in the bathroom, in the shower, I guess. And so the shower is like was like the wall. It was kind of close to my roommate's wall, and she's like, bro, I'm so sick of these people just screwing in my room. Walls were very thin. But yeah, she got a new man, and once she got a new man, she decided to be nice to me again. That's when she started to see me and wave and be nice and kind and smile at me. And yeah, I guess that was like her last year. So when she graduated, they got back together. But now they're not together. Like, I don't think that's even a thing. I haven't even seen it. Like, they're not together anymore. But he would post her and all that. Oh, cute. That was probably one of the craziest stories ever, because that does not happen to people. Like, you may find out that somebody has a girlfriend, but not like the way I found out was because she lived with me and she was unloading her forks next to my forks and putting her snacks next to my snacks. Like that, I think that is just so nutty. But I handled it. I was a big girl. I did my thing and I was kind to her. I did it. I handled it with the best way that I could. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I know that like my friends and like some of my family are like gonna laugh and remember this story and just crack up and all that and enjoy it, because it's funny now. Like now I laugh at it and I think it's funny. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have any other suggestions of like advice that you guys want to hear from my next girl pull over video, just leave it down in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, no matter what time of day you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.